Hello. I am here. I don't really know how I want to open this today, I'm going to be honest. Maybe just with music. It has been a while. Did I just lose my pick? Alright, it's gone. Maybe it's a sign. I don't know how much of the guitar is necessary. I just want to do whatever today, so that's what we're doing. But didn't jump off the bridge after my intro, obviously. You've been here watching, and I've been here listening, and it goes like this now, in places I've missed now, and it's on a hot day, the reason to make plays, and I've been here watching, Walden and Monston, oh, got me in a place I know. You've been here watching, and I've been here chasing, and all this time flies by, and making us end die, and I've been here holding, seeing lost and out. Got me in a place I doubt. Got me in a place I drown. Practice my F more. You've been here watching, the door closes in time. The reason to make this do then and waste time, and you all through, and it's been a hard 2 days. Got me in a state I made. Got me in a place I changed. Days on the plane, my state, my taste, more food, myself, my hand, laying on missing on my civilization to tan. Got me on this room, this in this days. I fall, listen to this toll. I can hear anxious, you've been here making amends. It's simple for my head to end, Good morning, Hammer. How are you? How's your day going? Good intro, good intro. How are your games coming along? Good, glad to hear it. I haven't seen any pirate software stuff lately, so the algorithm hasn't been feeding me any of the interesting downfall stuff. I'm gonna presume he took that as, well, I was gonna say, if I'm not seeing anything, it doesn't mean it's not happening. Because if a bear shits in the woods, did it really happen? You know, I think I'm conflating those, because there's always, like, if a tree falls in the woods, does it make a sound? And then there's a bear shit in the woods, does it make a sound? I feel like they're the same thing, just one is more vulgar than the other. I'll have to think about that more. What is a game? It's a great question. I think for me, ludologically, a game is something that has a win and a lose condition. but I'm also amending lately my definition to include a game requires player choice. It's something a player can lose in, can win in, but also the player has to have a choice. I think that is what I'm going to consider a game. Because that would disclude the walking simulators, and it would disclude any of the like non-games, you know. I don't think that my definition I think that's broad enough to include most of the things that I have found like fun and playful. I don't think fun needs to be a prerequisite for making a game either, because I think fun can be relatively subjective. Because I guess fun in some sense is limited by like time, person, place, culture, historically, things like that. But I also believe that there is like objective fun too. I guess it's hard to say. I'm kind of vacillating between both of those right now, so. Because I think there are probably some not absolute fun mechanics, but I think there's some pretty good ones, you know, that could be a pretty decent foundation for what makes a game a game. What makes a game? Well, a little bit of fun with a freedom of play and heart in one, and it's a soulful endeavor. Part you uncover as you go, without winning to lose. There's no stakes, and the people will find in the rightful place where they go, and how they got there to spend their time in fair for a while. Sometimes it's random, sometimes it's play, sometimes you're forced in, and sometimes you die a way to go. Turn away, even this you run from, living out in the maze. I swear I'm coming undone in unwon the day. And even now you turn away, even this you run from, living out in the maze. I swear I'm coming undone, it's unsung for days. Now you turn away, even this is undone, living out in the maze. I swear I'm coming undone and unsung for days. It takes time to make fold, it's now the ways I know it goes, places I played along. I like the C bar more, yeah, there we go. now you turn away from this is undone. Living out in the maze, I swear I'm coming undone, unsung for days. I feel like my voice is getting warmed up. We should just try some random chords. I'm kind of stuck in my CG mode. It did say I have to practice F, so why don't we use that? It's kind of like bright sounding. The sunshine, sunshine days are off in town, breaking out, make my sound in fire. I wonder if it's time to ride. The sunshine falls and winter's breezing out in season, not my reason always. Living on a mission, changing, and I've been amazing. Now I'm just gonna read book words I have on these spines here. What do you care? No, you will rather than dead. Read me like a book, and how this should guide for. On the threshold of hope. Yeah, and then I just immediately looked to laboratory experiments for general organic and biochemistry. What the hell was I thinking getting that book? I don't think I know anything about biochemistry. In your infinite ways, and all along vision out loud, and I've been here this down, and it's been here wrong ways, and no truth falls like a triangle, beat on all the ways and outs, and habits of the way I frown, in strength I fall to crime. Magic in your mind. I went back to my CG. I have my comfort chords. Wallow, watching from your brain through a window, and got slow, placing through the head of hot and cold. These out, got my thorn wishing out. Take your reason, I got my reason out. way. Got me in a way that I've been here chasing you down. Loose, I'm running through the back line, and I've been here watching the ruby. Fingers are not warmed up. I have the nails for it. Date open, running through the red line, and I've been here taking my damn time. The old lace, running through the backlog of vision for the restored days. I feel like I have to be a lot louder for that. It is fun, though. It is fun. What's the point in using daylight? Oh. What's the point of reason like you didn't know? Alright, well, I'm here. I'm just gonna work on stuff I already have written, too. Why not? It's my world, and I'm here. This stream, I mean. No, that stuff looks too depressing. I'm in a better mood than that. I guess it's kind of funny because it's like, you know, when you're writing a bunch of stuff, for me they're like snapshots in time of like some sort of emotion or something. It's not like I can't play it without, you know. I don't even think it's like about an honesty thing of like feeling like I'm hitting some sort of honest emotion or something. It just feels like just not in the mood, I guess, for whatever that mood was. Not even sure if that made sense. Running through the east side, I've been here watching you might. A heart of brass and the reason to task, and I've been falling it through, watching the waves roll out like petals of some flower past its prime. And is it a crime, falling in days, messing it up, sweet of a ways in the power of your head, and the places of your bed. You've been sleeping for your time, waking for some incubation. I know this will make you some presentation. It's an orientation, I've been pulling it through. Got me in all I say. Alright, the point of this is play, though. That's my goal. My brain keeps getting in the way of my play. I need this critic to take a back seat. And when I feel I've done that, then I feel I can actually start doing what I want to do. And all this is stupid, and all this is dumb. It matters not where I go, because I know I'm from a place in time. Await all this state, I know distaste boils sweeter than oil and brighter than fire. Blood, sweat, and tears on a way into pyre. I can see the tide break, the places I'll go. When the sun nods my head, I'm back against the road, and I can follow through. I can see you at the end, a smile that's fading, in a place I've never been, and I can call you, I can call out, and I can sing all day in my stead, admired and doubt, and I can move forward. I could climb up, I could fall right down and feel I'm shit out of luck, and it could move on, and it could pass through. Like everything I've learned falls like sand in through, and I could be seal of my head. I could be the land in my stead. And remember, all this is clay. You get on a fire and afford you a day, and you could dip into your hands and mold with some water. Thoughts like a rinse, and places and order. It's a hard day in my mind, the places and my time, and like a curse, the burden swells, and I'd imagine this imagination has got its own price and weight and bill. Mired and held, and fallen and sunken, wishing and wanting, potential and glancing, and at a jagged knife, I know the stone must die to meet me in my clouds. Now into the ibis like a blazing, and my sin and fire to the right, and I could face time and make do. It matters not what you say, 'cause all these little things make my day away, and I'd rather fall through. And they say the opposite is not time, and I know contradictions are placed into my mind, and paradoxically you try to protect me. You're falling in my head. You tell me that I'm bad. You tell me it goes like this. You're worried about the future. You're anxious and wanting. Your places and gossip, ghost of regret, man. And I could see my lawn, and it could be get down away. It'd be better if you didn't, is what you'd say. But I see now this is a shield in my head, protecting from distance and all the sex and failure, and missing to the million hope. And I've been here wishing, and I've been here wanting, but if you ask me to fill a hand with wish or shit, well, guess what would fill up first? Shit, I get off the pot, a place in the mustard, awaking in my head, you waking in this dead of days. A child in sweet line of east and disease down, and that's the problem of living on the modern for the weeks of days. Got me on the swing, and all these people I meet to let the child at their feet and die. Like on my set, and I've been afraid this dead, strangled and tired, to choke all the mired, and stressed and wanting, wishing and haunting. Out I'm stomping, out I'm moving through, placing blues, and I could walk in and want through, and breaking this dark state, and all these in this pain, and fuck the courts unsayed. It matters not what you do, you're placing on my head. I get you down the east, and I get blazing through the wall. I stared it on my side away, and play where you want now with beast into my sound. It matters not what you do, and rolling through the ways. I know the place I'm gonna go in through. It's my head. Anything works, really. I think that's good enough. I think I'm here. There's like a switch. Here, while we're at it. There's like a switch. Take out my hearing aids. It's like... Did I even bring a hair tie today? I don't know if I did. Note to self, clean desk later. To finish what I'm saying, it feels like a switch. It's like it takes a certain amount of time to warm up and then it sort of just clicks. I think that's what meditation is for, honestly. To like recenter yourself from breath rather than ego, but I'm not going to get into all that bullshit right now. Let's just seize what I have in my mind here. And talk when I remember to talk. Let's move them over to the center here. How do I want to do this? I feel like it's my left brain getting in the way, so why don't we do it over here? Should it be outlined? Why don't we try it and see what we like? I'm aiming for progress over perfection. I want that sort of like comic book. Okay, well, what are we thinking here? So, clouds. Well, the background's blue. Okay, let's try to do some kind of shading, maybe. Yeah, I kind of like that. It's like a stormy cloud. I mean, it's not going to be gray like a storm, but clouds are... They don't typically have edges, but I'm thinking like a comic book idea cloud is my thought. That's pretty cool. I like that. I like that my first iteration. How about that? Looks pretty good. And then what about... Do I gotta do these like this? Kind of good. Okay. Let's run with it. Progress over perfection. That's the mantra for today. I'm going to hit this camera 50 times. Alright, I like that so far. Before we do anything else and animate it, let's add the low. Actually, here, let's just take this. Okay. Ooh, actually, let's take the whole thing. I don't know how big it's gonna be. I'm like, part of me is like half thinking, and then the other part is like speaking out loud. But I haven't really given you any context for what I'm doing yet. And I think that'll answer itself as I continue through. So perhaps this may not be the most interesting stream for you, but it is important for me. Let's see, level select. I got to get in the loop of actually jump off the bridge. I haven't done it for a while now. Okay, what is the last? It's obviously the bug. The bug is the last level. Okay. There's nothing more fitting to me than this idea of how would I do this if I was gonna do this? Let's see, it's a level about potential. Here, let's just grab the cloud. Let's just grab the cloud. And then let's sort of, yeah. And what kind of thoughts are going to be in the cloud? Well, it's going to be like ideas. What is an idea? Image, sound, word, concept. What is a good representation for idea? What are my ideas? That's probably a good one. Ooh. It struck like lightning. Let's, what do I want to do here? Let's just draw. Let's just see what comes out. Kind of looks like a dragon. That's kind of funny, actually. With the cloud, be thinking, well, I mean, potential could be. Fuck it, we ball. Let's do it. I'm cool with it. I like dragons. Big fan of dragons. Big lover of dragons. Always been a dragon lover. Not all dragons are good, but when they're good, they're good. Big fan of dragons. Where the hell is the end of this? A lot of levels I haven't done yet. Big, beautiful dragons. Love a dragon. Always met a dragon. Good US of A dragon. Got nothing to complain about for dragons. Let's make it red. Red is the color of not done. For me. Is it a moral thing? It could be. I've been working on my Trump impersonation. Holy shit. Okay. That's good. Let's go to objects, and then let's make. That's right, I had to do this bullshit earlier. A month ago, I say. What is the level called? Bug something? Crash bug. Okay. Let's add another. This one's called. Wow, we're getting really artsy with it. We're getting really artsy, dude. I can see my own head up my own pretentious ass. Yeah, this is gonna be great. Beautiful. Okay, potential. How artistic. Much art. All right, and then we have perspective after that. Oh my god. I need to make another P level. That's just a word after this. Potential. Perspective. Pretentious. Oh, be good. Okay, all right. What would a pretentious level even be? That's actually a good idea. Let's write that down. That could be funny. Making fun of myself is funny. Pretentious level. Pretentious. Okay, I'm not going to spoil it. I'm not going to talk myself out of being uninspired, so you're not going to get any of that. This is the best stream. A stream where my half-formed thoughts spill out of me like vomit. Okay. And then we got to do some bullshit, don't we? What is the bullshit I have to do? It's something with this array, because I changed it, didn't I? How did I change it? Oh, it's like a script, isn't it? It's a script. It's gotta be a script. It's a script somewhere. I wish I could see the most recent scripts I made. The Cody of the past did not make this easy for the Cody of the present. But so shall we do. Oh, here it is. Oh, this script is big. This is a Chungus script. Open. Alright, what the hell is this? That's right, I had to change these functions over because my if statement was too big. It was just too big to handle. A weak, whiny... Wait, I don't have any of the other ones. Oh, because they don't have a preview yet. Okay, so that doesn't matter. That's for previews. Alright. Could I... What does this do again? Oh, this is... Okay, so that's these previews. That's why those don't have a preview. Okay, I got it. I'm up to date. And then in order for the level to show, we have to do... Man, I gotta write this down. What the hell am I thinking? I gotta change the version number. So we'll go back a version. And then we need to make the actual level. Right? Where's my grass base? So let's duplicate this. And this is gonna be a level potential. Okay, I'm not missing any chat. That's good. This is the crash bug. Okay, dissolution summer arc. Wow, that's a great name for that. Okay, let's put it in there. It's gonna be 1.2.6.3, and then let's put it after my bug. This will be the next level I complete. Okay. I want obj potential cloud. I remember that too. Okay, we got stuff to do. Let's make this a red. This red. Potential cloud. How do we want to do this next? Okay. There are many options and directions to go from here. But the more I think about it, anything could work. So, here's what we're going to do. We're going to just drop that in there. And then we're going to add this right to put the... Yeah, let's put the player on a different layer. Player can be under. Okay. Where is our... Wait, let's get rid of all this. I'm not doing any of this. Close it all down. That'll come later. We don't need this anymore. So our level shows up. Let's make sure that we have a base thing working here. Okay, so what would be the most ideal? I mean, I could do the player X, and then it would spawn good. But that's going to make it difficult for particles. Yeah. So then I got to do math. We got to do some math here. God, we love math. Do I got to do math? I feel like I have to do math. Yeah, we're going to do some basic math. All right, so what do we have here? We can leave it at 29. So 54 to 31, is that what we're going to do? 54 minus 31, 23. 23. So it's going to be, okay, potential cloud. End step. We should... Is it going to become unattached? Yeah, I think it will be. Attached equals true. Phase equals 1. I mean, we can change it later. If it's bad, we'll just fix it. If attached equals true and instance exists obj player, then we're going to do x equals something and y equals something. Well, what does the x equal? X is going to equal jplayer dot x right? And this is going to be dot y minus our number of 23, because then it goes above. And then we're going to make that lag too. It's got a lag. How do I make it lag? I guess let's check if it works first. So potential cloud. Oh, but we want to draw a picture. It's not going to be a big deal. That's not going to be a big deal. Let's do that. Cloud. Picture box. Okay. So then I mean, we can really do the whole cloud. It does not matter. This is kind of like our border, though. Okay, that's like a palette, right? And then let's make that a separate sprite. SPR potential ideas. And then I actually don't know the size of this, so let's just... What? It's bigger than that. Is it really that large? Okay. Alright, and then everything will be in that. Okay. And then we gotta do more math. So should we start with a quaint pastoral scene? Quaint indeed. Nothing like the landscape. We'll do something like that. We'll do like the hills. Nice. And then we'll do the behind hills. Oh my god. Perspective. So much perspective. And then we do the sky. Oh my goodness. And then we do the clouds. No, they need to be white, brother. Still too gray. Gotta be full white. There we go. Oh my goodness. And then we do the bluish mountains in the back. Amazing. Truly inspiring. And then we can do the... Get rid of that. Nice. Nice. All right, and let's do that math since I want to get that done first. So, how do I do that? So we have our... We're just going to do the same thing again, basically. So... 29. It's going to be 8 back. So draw self. Draw sprite. Just do basic draw for now. SPR potential ideas 0 x y, and it's going to be x minus 8. And what is the y going to be? 31 minus 25 is 6, I think. So minus 6. Okay. Follows the player is attached if phase equals 1. Okay. And I mean, we can give it an animation. I don't see why not. So let's remove the box, the player, and let's I don't want to do this. Up, down, down. Okay. And then should we change the shape slightly? I kind of like that idea. So let's get rid of the edges and let's make new edges. So it looks kind of like one of those, you know, there's always those like 2-frame storybook things where it looks like somebody drew like 2 frames in pen and then it slowly like oscillates a little bit between them. That's kind of what I want to do. Make it randomish. And then we'll add the edges again. I want more variation. Maybe it needs to move. That looks good. Yeah, okay. And then obviously it's going to like a zillion miles. Yeah, we got to do it like 1, 2. I like that. I like that. That's looking cool. It needs to be harsher edges, I think. That's too similar. That's too in the way. This also looks too similar. Okay, I can settle with that. I like how that looks. All right, and then we should be able to run this. And my hypothesis is that we'll be able to click on the level and go into it. And oh wait, we didn't put the cloud there. Doy. Put it like right there. Is that seeable against the background? We might need a different color. It's a little too dark. We'll see it when we get in. I think that'll work. I guess while it's building, I can still do sprite work. So let's. I don't know if I'm going to use it, but let's just get rid of that. Duplicate this. Okay, never mind, we're in. Nice, look at that, it works. I almost feel like that needs to move too. Let's do If I just do plus image index, is that like actually going to work? I feel like it will, because if the image index is 0, it'll be 0, which is the default where I want it, and then it slightly moves to the right. So if it's the image index is 1, this is all assuming that I don't make any more frames for it, but it does kind of, it's like a shortcut. It kind of works. A little weird, but I mean, other than that, I could do like a switch case for like where I want it to stand, I guess. I could also do up and to the right too if I want to do a diagonal, using the same logic. Oh, the image index, because it's a slower frame rate, is not always 1 or 2. Okay, all right, that's fine. If index equals 1, no, that's because it's moving. Oh god. All right, if it's greater than or equal to 1. Ugh. Yeah, we're gonna do something weird. If this is greater than 0 and image index is less than or equal to 1, then I could just do XX, I guess. What is a good name for this variable? Shift x shift equals 0, else x. Yeah, actually, maybe this is better. Nah. 1, and then var x shift equals 0, x shift. I don't know if oscillation is the right. Okay. Because the problem is that because we're not moving at 30 frames a second, the image index is not incrementing by 1 each time. It's incrementing by a fraction of how many frames per second we have, which means that it's never a binary 0 or 1 like I thought it was. Nice. I probably want ideas that are... Yeah, okay, so now, before we do anything else, let's get that cloud color more stark against the... He's doing something like, cannot paint. Is that going to work against... Oh yeah, that's better-ish. Yeah, we'll go with that. I'm fine with that. And then let's delete this. And then just duplicate it again. I want to do... Is that with the... It's not with the darker color. My brother. Must I X this? So that's saved. Okay, and then we duplicate it. This is darker. Okay, it is. I don't think I'm going to do a run. Ooh, I like that idea. Let's do that. Hold on. I thought of something. An image flickered in my mind. What are you doing, brother? Delete this. Okay. And then let's do a... Yeah. Yeah. And then the player. Yeah. Actually, maybe this needs to be lower. Okay. Let's do a face. It'd be like gritting his teeth. It's open looking. Maybe taper the edges. When I think of like problem is he shouldn't be happy when he's doing it. He's like annoyed. Oh yeah, there we go. Why has he got a big nose? Let's see. I'm trying to think of like a almost. That looks pretty goodish. Oh yeah, okay, there we go, there we go. That looks weird. It's gotta be like that. And then should we change his eyes a bit? Okay, let's duplicate this. I like this base. Let's try to do some different eyes. Black eyes. I like that more than the don't know. He looks like he's this is difficult. No, that looks weird. I kind of like this. This looks more like he's looking down. He should be wide because he's wide. Yeah, I like that. Okay, we're going with that. Okay, and then I want him to look like he's strangling the player. So I feel like it's got to be lower. And then what we're going to do is we're going to do... Let's duplicate this and let's work on the player here. So is it gonna look more like he's wringing his neck if I make him longer? I feel like it will. Should I do like a longer neck? It should be exaggerated. And then this is going to get more complicated the more I make this. How do I want to do this? Because of the way the layers work. What do I want to do? Do I want to make it complicated? Let's see how it looks first. Because I could do it like the player is actually like trying to fight back here. We could also do the Bart Simpson sort of tongue out. Like when Bart's being choked by Homer. What's a good tongue color? I guess it's like more red, right? Almost. I feel like it needs to be wackier if I'm going to do it. No, that looks weird. That also looks weird. Would it be better if I did the player's face more? That kind of looks, yeah, I kind of like that. Oh, I gotta put the tongue on the same layer, I think. Okay, I mean, it looks weird, but let's do it. And then the hands, maybe this one could be over here more. Maybe he's like trying to pry it off. How do I show like a desperate grasp? Without the cloud in the way, what would these hands actually look like? They're supposed to be like this. I think so. It's always the pardon-moi. Banned. Making me do work on my own stream. For shame. Okay. I kind of like this. I'm kind of cool with this. Oh, but yeah, we can't do that because this has to be... Okay. That should work. Let's do the legs. Oh, and then we can do... Yeah, we can do that. Let's do... Should I make him swole? Does this look like it's continuing it? I guess it kind of does. Like separating his... I feel like his bicep thing up here needs to be bigger. Actually, let's do this again, but make it more like, yeah, like this. So it kind of looks like a vague cloud bicep. Yeah, I like that better. Okay, and let's do the same thing over here. Okay. We can shore that up. Yeah, there we go. Kind of looks like strangling, right? Okay, we're gonna do some very creative things to make the to make this whole thing work. But it'll work. All right, then I want 2 frames. Yeah, okay, we want 2 frames, so let's start with the player first. Make his mouth bigger. Make him like back more. And then we'll change the tongue. Is that a little too wild? No, it's gotta go up. Up and out. No, if it's gonna go up, his head's gotta go forward. Yeah. No. Maybe start higher. I like this more. But I need a wave in there. Okay. Wait, we can get rid of this frame here. Let's okay, looking pretty good. Okay, nice. And then we need to show the hands doing something. So maybe like trying to pry out. Maybe like grasping more. Okay, and then we can do the hands tightening. We can do that by just making them smaller, right? No, we can't do that. They gotta go in. They gotta go in to show that they're sort of grasping. So how do we want to do that? We want to do the outside in and shrink. Okay, wait, I'm messing up. I gotta do this on this one. Yeah, okay. So it's gotta go in, which I guess makes sense that he's contracting up and out because we're like squeezing in. Let's change this around here. Maybe make it darker to show that we're pinching. Okay, okay. Maybe lower the height. Okay. I kind of want a thing over here though. Maybe. No, I like this here. Okay, we'll just deal with that. No, I want this top to change. No, that's weird. Okay, we'll just stick with that. We'll stick with that. And then we'll show the muscles moving inward as we... I was trying to shift that a little bit, but let's do... No, that looks weird. Let's do... No, I don't like that either. So maybe we do... Just change the shape. Should I pull him forward? I feel like it's too significant of a change. Let's just change the shape. If we just do a little bit of a shape change, I think it'll work. No, they kind of gotta move. What if I move it up higher? That's too significant of a change. Is this giving me the illusion I want? It looks weird. I think it's because it's taking all the focus off of the stuff. So let's just delete this. And let's actually just copy these over. And then onion skin to put them back in place. I think it's because that is moving and it's sort of, but see, it's got to change. It looks too weird stationary. All right. What do I want to do here? Maybe just modify slightly. That also does not look good. It's harder than I thought. Okay, what would I do here? Well, I guess we can work on something else. Let's work on something else, and then we'll come back to it. Okay, so I want my legs to be... Yeah, that's too big of a change. And this isn't enough of a change. How about this? Looks good, looks good. And then maybe we can do the waist going up. Okay. So the player is looking pretty good. I like the two frame silliness. I think I would like more if this hand moved up though. And then we'll change the shoulder. Oops. It's on the wrong one. This one I want up. Doesn't really matter which, but... Is that too crazy? I think what I don't like about this one is that it needs to feel like he's really in there. I want a sort of pulling out motion of trying to like stretch it, but I don't really have that many pixels to work with. I guess that'll work. Okay, let's change his face now. His face should change. Maybe I want it to be tighter. His mouth should change. But what should it change to? That looks good. I like that. Okay. And then we can sort of show his face jostling, I think. And then we'll do this moving, I think. Okay, maybe the player moves that. It's kind of like he's laughing now. I kind of like that. All right, what if we just try going back to the arms now? Let me name this layer. What if we just move these? So these will go over and these will go down. Okay, I'm pretty happy with that. Okay, yeah, that looks good. Nice. Nice. Awesome. Okay, so how do we do this then? A little bit of work to be done. I guess I can do an object. Does that make the most sense? Tell you what, we'll just start doing it and see where we end up. Walking is better than overthinking it. All right, so we gotta do it step by step. We need. This is gonna be strangle, and so this is gonna be. We're gonna duplicate this, and then we're gonna take this one. I'm gonna make the player invisible, and this is gonna be player cloud triangle, and then we need a player cloud hands, player cloud hands strangle. Okay, and then we need. I kind of like the idea of the player moving faster. I like the 15 frames a second for the player, so let's see what that looks like. So let's get rid of the face, all of this junk. Okay, that's good. And then these are going to be just the hands. And those can, hands, and those can also work at the 15 frames a second. Okay. So the reason this is difficult is because we have a bunch of moving parts, but we'll make it work. Okay, so what I want to do is, we'll do it. Okay, strangle. So if instance exists obj player, maybe and attached equals true. So then we're gonna do I had a good idea. That is a good idea. Okay, I thought of a great idea. They just sort of happen upon me. So face, you grab. Ideas can be grabbed. Oh shit, that's such a good idea, bro. Oh my god, that complicates it though. Alright, fuck it, we'll do it. My muse. You bitch. Ugh. It's such a good idea, but it's also dreadful. Alright. Ah, okay, fine. I know. It's a good idea. Okay, let's just do the bare minimum. Ugh. Why does that have to be such a good idea? Okay, so... Yeah, I get it. I got it. Yeah, huh? Okay. So... Oh my god, I don't want to do that. Then I need to store the stuff in an array, though. My brain is moving way too fast to keep up. Okay, let's think about this here. Let's try to plan ahead. So we're going to have ideas manifesting in the cloud. Okay, let's do the strangle part first. You're distracting me. Let's do the strangle part first. So, in order to be strangled... Yeah, we can make the exception later. It's fine. Okay. So to be strangled, let's make it simple. It could be simple. It doesn't have to be difficult. If X is with player. Yeah, we're using the player. Okay, with player. If X is greater than. Okay, close this. We'll deal with that in a bit. Yep. Okay, I see it. All right. Sometimes having good ideas, I think it's like I feel like maybe I just have an antagonistic relationship with my muse. Maybe that's what it is. All right, so because it's just like, yeah, it's a great idea, but it's going to take a bit of work. But what does it matter? It doesn't matter if it takes time. All right, so what do I want to do here? How do I want to do this? If X is... What is the bridge? Get rid of this. Yeah, how do I want to do this? I mean, I guess this is the edge, right? Okay, so this is going to be 306. So if player is greater than 306... Do we do and? But what if they hook under to the left? What am I going to do then? I guess we just have to make sure they can't hook under the left, right? That makes sense. So then we do... Because they can't theoretically go here. So if they're like lower than the bridge though. So like 157. So and Y is greater than 157. To strangle. So let's just do other dot strangle equals true. Do I need a variable for it? I mean, it's gonna make it easier. Do I do a phase for it? Nah, let's just do strangle. Let's just do strangle. Strangle equals true. Well, equal false for now. So we set strangle to true. What do we do there? Okay, so we need to stop the player from being able to move. Do we, though? How do they get out of strangle? I guess that's a better question to ask. Because we're strangling them, preventing them from jumping off the bridge. But how do we get them out of strangle? Okay, I keep thinking of stuff. Sorry. Enemies, past enemies, blocks. Okay. Stop. We gotta focus on this. How do we get out of strangle? What do we do? So the cloud is strangling you. It's holding you. What if it just goes up and left? What happens then? What happens then? So what are we preventing the player from doing? Animations. So animations. No animations allowed equals true. And then no input allowed equals true. Okay, okay. I'm rusty, but I'm figuring it out. Okay, we're cooking. Slowly and surely. What do we have here? So we're going to replace the player's animations. We can see what that looks like later. Actually, even better. Let's just set the sprite index equal to SPR player cloud strangle. But then I got to do math. There's always fucking math, dude. Okay, so... Wait, we've already done the math. Because it's like 29 down, isn't it? 23 down. So... we need to set the strangle, and then the player y equals my y plus 23, because it's going to be lower than wherever I am. Right? Does it even matter? Because the player's already in the position the player is going to be. That doesn't matter. We don't need that. Okay, player single strangle. And then let's just do... oh, then we got to set other sprite index. Okay. I got this. Sprite index equals SBR cloud. Potential cloud strangle. Okay. Progress. Alright, so how do we get out of this? Well, for now, we're going to do if... no, we need to change the phase. It's got to change the phase. Other phase equals... let's just make it 6. So if phase equals 6... strangle player. All right. Okay, so what are we doing here? We're just gonna do V speed. And object player. Okay, so if this is how I want to do it. People call it V chance. V chance equals, what do I want to do? 1 in 4? No, it's got to be more than that. Right? How do I keep them above a certain limit? How do I do it for the bird, actually? That's a good question. Let's look at our bird. I've already done this. I've already been here before. What did the bird do? Does it just have a flap time? Oh, I did something similar here. Oh, I see. So if it's okay, I got it now. Let's just do something similar then. No, because how do I get out of strangle? Maybe the player hitting a bunch of buttons gets out of strangle. That would make sense, right? Just hitting a ton of buttons and then being flung up left. That could work. I kind of see the vision there. And if you're in strangle too long, you just die. That's got to be what it is. Yeah. 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 Okay. Let's keep this in mind here. Wait. Oh, because flap time. I see. If v-speed is greater than 3 flap. Okay, this is kind of confusing to me. That's fine. We don't need that very specifically yet. Let's see what we got here. Oh, man. Why is this not coming to me so easily? Okay. Perhaps I'm just overthinking it. So what we need to do is we need to make the player vertically go up. I could turn off there. I guess they'd be grabbed, wouldn't they? I'm trying to visualize it in my head. But then I want the V-speed to be active based on like what button you're pushing. How do I do that? Oh man, dude, there's so many options. Okay, well, the point of this, remember, is to make sure that the cloud strangles the player to prevent them from jumping off the bridge. So all we have to do is make sure that they can jump off the bridge. So there's a multitude of ways to do that. We can reduce the gravity and do a repeated rhythmic vertical negative, or but the player's going to have the interactability of hitting the buttons to get out of the strangle, which is going to move them up and left to the diagonal. What would be more fun? I feel like moving slightly could be fun. Do I want it to be more random or less random? It needs to be consistent, because otherwise the player will fall off the bridge, and we don't want that. They shouldn't be allowed to get low. So that's what we gotta do. So we gotta do if strangled. So they can't animate, they cannot input. It has to be timed. That's the only way. We just gotta time it. So we gotta do var bounce time. We need a default variable for bounce time. So this needs to be like 10 or something. We'll play with it. Honestly, let's just play with it. Let's just see what happens. So if bounce time is greater than 0, time minus, and then else obj player dot, and then we got to do bounce time equals let's make a bounce time max too. So bounce time max equals 10. Player v speed equals negative soft bounce equals soft bounce. Maybe soft bounce should just be negative. We're basically recreating the bird here. So soft bounce equals negative. So let's just see what it looks like. Forget it. Okay, and then it resets the timer. Okay, let's see what that looks like. We'll test it. It is all a work in progress. That it do be. I guess I can make a knife now. Yeah, you want me to do a knife? We'll do a knife. Browner. Well, it's got to fit in the ideas thing, so why don't we do it here? I actually don't need this. Okay. Okay. How about like this? And a jagged knife. That look jagged enough? Kind of like it more like that. Let's do that then. This should be jagged too, I think. Okay. Should we do an edge? Might be hard to see, but we'll see. Honestly, I'm cool with that. Let's do that. Looks weird. Okay. Okay. What are we looking at? Strangle. What in the Lord's name? Okay. My bad. I added the player there. Let's try this again. We'll try it again. It didn't work. I saw that it didn't work. So we gotta try it again. 10 frames is too long. I could turn off gravity though too. Okay, and then we're gonna do draw if phase equals 1. You can draw this. Draw ideas. Oh my god, I keep thinking of ideas while I'm doing this. Okay, hold on. Okay. Got it. I feel like this is coming together bit by bit. What am I doing now? We need to get this bounce to work, and I gotta see if I like it. That's what we're doing. So this is obviously not enough. How do we want to do this? I could do... So for the bird, I reduced the player's gravity to half that. Which I could... I mean, that would show a floaty-ish cloud. So why don't we do... Gravity equals 0.4. And then we'll do bounce time of 5 and see where we're at. Just play with the number. And then we're doing a -6 for the jump, which is basically what the bird is. I could also reset the v-speed to 0 so the player sort of floats more, but that would be weird. Oh, what if I did? Oh man, how would I do that? Okay, so oh my goodness. Could I just make the player die? Do I even want them to recover from this? That's a great question. It could just be... You menace. Alright, let's look at this. Kind of works. Why is the thing off? Oh, it's because we didn't do our math. Do I want to adhere it to that, though? No, I need to draw the cloud at a different spot, don't I? Oh, no. I need to draw the... What am I doing? How do I do that? So right now it's 23 pixels off. That's because the cloud is drawing from 23 from the player. So maybe it just needs to be 0 if it's... Yeah. But then that's also spawning away from the player, isn't it? Hard to say. Triangle equals false. Does this fix it? Hey there, fella. What's new? Welcome, Mac. How are you? As far as new goes, that's a great question. What is new? Since you've been here, man, a lot has been new. It's been like a whole while, dude. How are you doing, first off? How's your day going? As far as new goes, I've been working on quite a bit of stuff. I finished my... So a couple weeks ago, I played through the Johnny series, which was 36 games by Kim Åkerstrom. It took me like 50 hours to finish, which was... It was labor intensive, but it was very fun. Okay, there we go. Players being choked. Nice. We're going too high, but that does look good. Okay, so we're on to the next part. See, I beat the Johnny series. Here, let me look at my... Let's just look at my repertoire. The video repertoire. That's what we're going to go for. Can I just view the channel? Yeah. Yeah, so we did... Well, videos. What the hell have I been doing? Yeah, I did. So in May, I did one more. Yeah, I don't know if you've seen this. So I don't know if you were here for this, Mac, but so for the 6th anniversary of Jump Off the Bridge, I did a level that is... I wanted to do something that was like just funny and silly and break some of the conventions of game design.
So I have this level where it's a bug driving a car, and then to avoid you, he ends up swerving and crashing. Okay, and the problem is if the crash goes too long, I actually have it so the game does crash. Like, it just completely crashes, which is pretty funny. So to beat the level, you have to do something absurd. You have to catch the car and juggle it. If you hold it too long, you'll just die. It'll crush you. So you have to, like, juggle the car off of the bridge in order to actually jump off the bridge. And that's how you beat the level. So that was pretty funny. I did that back in May. And then I've been working on a series of other random levels. Some I've started, some I haven't. Here's one where you got to drive a boat, and then you got to, like, jump in the water, and it's like a swimming section. So kind of crazy. I haven't decided all how I want to do it yet. I got little pieces of it. And then I made this island thing that I'm working on, where you're on an island, and there's a bunch of things preventing you from jumping off the island, including dolphins, which will be here eventually. There they are. I did a lot of annoying code to make sure they're janky, but they still work. So I've been doing that, and then I also went to Gen Con in August to playtest a board game that I made with my buddy, so I can talk about that more later. I actually think I have some pictures of that too. Yeah. Let me see. Devlog? Yeah, I did a devlog on my thing. So we went to a Gen Con board gaming convention. It was pretty awesome. Very cool. A lot more people than I thought there were going to be. Very insane. And then we did playtest of our game, which I talked a little bit about, but I'll probably be doing more of that later. Just a huge event overall. And then I went to Iowa, so I got to see a bunch of nature stuff. So if you want to read that, that's in the Discord. But we did a bunch of caves and stuff like that, and then working on the board game. And then I bought a bunch of monster manual stuff for monsters. Here's me crawling in a cave. That was pretty fun. So yeah, I think that's me. Board game stuff. Working on Jump Off the Bridge. Did the Johnny series. Been playing some random games. This is all the Johnny series. You can see like 50 hours of streams. And then I played the fan games, which some were good, some were horrible. I did Jumping Steve again. So that's been my year, dude. That's been my year of work-related stuff. Some work, some play. It's a day. Joys of vendor meetings. Other than that, looking forward to my time off next week. Dude, that sounds nice. Time off next week. Vendor meetings. You got to meet with other vendors and plan the logistics. Is that what it is? Glad to hear you're going to get a week off. That sounds like it'll be good. I also did make a small project. So in inspiration of the Johnny games, which we beat, yeah, there's a lot of thoughts on those games. I wanted to beat them because something I liked about the games was that they felt like authentic. It didn't really feel like they were made for people to actually play. It seemed more it was like a playful act of creation. And so I created like my own fan game for it. Mine's has different mechanics, but I retained. So in order to beat some of these Johnny games, I had to decompile the games to even be able to do that. So I decompiled the games, and then using some of the similar programming, sort of created my own. And there's two concepts I really like about the Johnny games. The first one is that some of them have a shrink ability where you can shrink, and they're very primitive. They're not like, very well made, I guess, in a sense. They're just like pure expression. And the other thing I really liked was the extended nose, and you can use that to get on platforms and stuff, which is really funny. So I made my kind of like own Johnny type character. And then he has a gun typically in all the games. So mine has a gun, except I made it so that, so in the Johnny games, you can shoot in every direction, but I also made it so you can strafe, like if you hold shift and shoot continually in that direction. And then I also was playing around with some, they sort of playful mechanics of they get on fire and stuff like that. So this is kind of like, I was trying to add more of like a sandbox of like play sort of thing to my game design. And I think this is going to end up being like some weird offshoot $1 game that I make at some point. I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but it's like inspired by Johnny games, but it's not going to play anything like them. They're not, they don't have, it's hard to describe. They're very primitive, I guess, in a way. Primitive and advanced in some different areas. So kind of fun there. But I'll probably end up working on that and then releasing it as a dollar game at some point. I've been really craving this idea of doing a series of $1 games where I only work on them for like a few weeks, maybe like a month max, and then just put them out there because I want more stuff under my belt. I've been working on Jump Off the Bridge for so many years. I'd like more games on the market, so that's kind of what I'm thinking of. But I also want to do an update for Jump Off the Bridge, so that's on my immediate mind right now. And so I have this level we're working on, which, okay, so it's clear the jump is too high. So let's just do 3. Let's do half the jump and see where we're at. But yeah, that's been about it. It's been it for me, man. Part of me wants to say grind, but it hasn't really been a grind. Been doing just a bunch of that stuff, so. And then I'm getting back in the swing of working on Jump Off the Bridge, because it's been like I just got back from camping. We do like a twice yearly camping event for just the dudes, family and friends and stuff like that. And they go up like shooting and drinking beer and stuff. But I ended up just doing nerd stuff with the rest of my family. So we played like tons of game of Pauper Magic, which I don't really like the direction Magic is heading in. It makes me wince and cringe. If you know anything about Magic the Gathering. Okay, that does work. I gotta deal with the X and Y. It's a little bit off for some reason. Is it off? It doesn't look off. Maybe it just takes too long to get into it, and that's why you fall so far. It needs to proc sooner, but I'm not sure. Oh, maybe I make the V-speed 0. That's what I do. Okay, let's do that. So when he grabs them, then V-speed equals 0. So whatever your fall rate was, it stops. That's what I gotta do. Yeah, sorry. I was saying we played Pauper Magic, and then we also played Shadow Dark, which I really enjoyed. It was super fun. Hey, let me pull up Shadow Dark. Yeah. Played this game. Man, this thing was a blast. I had a great time with that. I might order it at some point. It's like an old school RPG sort of thing, and it's very simplified, and the mechanics are like really easy. It took like a couple of minutes to like create a character, and then we were playing it. Super awesome game. Had a lot of fun with it. First game I did like a pure random character because they have like a random thing on here somewhere. Yeah, they had a randomizer on their website, so I rolled a pure random character, and we entered in to the dungeon to try to get treasure, and then ended up like wiping. And then we made actual characters the next round, and I rolled some pretty okayish stats, and we got very close to death, but ended up solving it in a weird way, which was really funny. It was basically like there was this body that had a set. It had 8 rings on each finger. Well, it had, each of the 4 main fingers outside of the thumb had a ring on it, and then it was holding a scepter, and it was immune to fire. It didn't get burned when we burned this boat down. So we were investigating the body, right? We take the scepter out, no problem. Then we take a couple rings off, no problem. Take the 3rd ring off, try to anyways, and then a ghost appears and basically completely wipes our party. Like, one of the guys jumps into water and it's filled with jellyfish, so he ends up getting stung to death. One of the guys gets knocked to 0 HP, and then I get knocked to 0 HP trying to do stuff. But before I get knocked down, I take an axe and I hack at the hands to try to like cut them off, basically. Because my thought was like, okay, well, if the ghost is like attached to like the rings or something, maybe we gotta get all the rings off and then on our fingers in order to like, untrigger the ghost or something like that. So that was my thought process, but I ended up getting knocked down, right? And so our GM's like, okay, 2 guys are still alive, barely. They're at 0 health, and in order to actually succeed, you have to roll a natural 20 So you roll a d4 to see how many rounds you're going to live before you bleed out, and then you have to roll a natural 20 in order to actually see if you survive, right? And so he's like, okay, you got 3 chances to roll a natural 20. And the other guy survived because somebody gave him a health potion before he died. So he's like stable, but like at low life. So he's already good. And I have to roll a natural 20. Drop it, hit the natural 20. I'm like, oh God. And the GM was like surprised. We're laughing our ass off. I actually get up, and then we figure out that the only thing that triggers the ghost being spawned is if we take the rings off. So we decide to keep the cut hands off and wrap them in like binding, and then just leave the cave. So we ended up kind of thwarting the adventure. It wasn't like there's obviously more treasure in the cave. That was just like one little aspect of it. But we were supposed to like take off the rings and defeat the ghost potentially, or whatever the case. We ended up doing it kind of backwards and just taking the hands with us and leaving. Then the GM said like after like, yep, technically the way you guys did it was legal. At least, you know, it's an RPG, so you can do crazy stuff. But it was pretty funny. It was a pretty entertaining time. Really like it. Yeah, it is awesome. I think the cool thing about the game is that it has like an old school feel to it. I really liked, I don't know how much RPG stuff you play. I haven't played a lot of RPG stuff myself. Okay, that kind of works. Maybe I'll make it a low number so he still sort of falls a little bit more. Yeah, I don't like that stiff. So wait, we gotta do... Okay, if attached equals true, that's a problem. So we gotta do if and strangle equals false. But anyways, I don't play a lot of RPG stuff. I kind of play it like very few and far between. But I have played last year. I played Dungeon Crawl Classics, and that game is really fun because you roll these like completely incompetent characters, like 6 of them per player. Like per person rolls like 6 of these characters, and then it's like a funnel basically. Like you get into the game, and then they all end up dying, and then you kind of pilfer like the things you got from the other guys to make like one good guy, and if he survives, then he becomes a hero. Like none of the people start as heroes. They all just start as like average people, and then over the course of time they like upgrade and gain levels and EXP and stuff like that. And that's what I really like, that because you don't start as like a hero. You don't start as a powerful character. You're like weak and like useless basically, and so it's like only the few survive. It's a very harsh game but very fun, and I like that about it. But what was cool about the Shadow Dark is it uses this luck token thing, which is basically every player has a slot for a luck token. They always have one luck token. Well, they don't always have a luck token, but they can have one luck token. And how it works is at any point you can expend that luck token to re-roll a die, generally. Any die you want. Or you can give your luck token to a nearby player for them to re-roll a die. And the way the game is designed is supposed to be that the game master is encouraged to give out luck tokens like more frequently based on if the people are doing something like that they find, you know, good or whatever. So basically it's cool because it acts as like an oh shit, I need to reroll die thing, and you're encouraged to spend your luck token because you only have one. You can only gain one when you don't have one. But it also is like a great system for a GM because if they want to reward players for being like on track or like doing good things, or like it's like an incentive for the players to like actually, you know, play the game in some way, because you can literally reward them by giving them luck tokens. So that's a cool system. I quite like that. I also like they uses an advantage disadvantage system, which I've never played with before, but I guess a lot of the old games have it, where like if you're rolling with advantage, you'd roll 2d20 and then you take the higher one. And if you're rolling with disadvantage, you roll 2d20 and then take the lower one. And so you can argue in like a situation like that you would have advantage in. Like what, for example, I was a fisherman in my first run, and so I was like, okay, I want to, like, do I know anything about this water? And he's like, okay, well, give me an intelligence check. And I was like, well, I was previously an occupation of a fisherman, so I should have knowledge for that. And he's like, okay, we'll roll with advantage, and then I could roll with advantage. Or like my second character had thievery, and so I was like, okay, well, I think a thief would have like more knowledge. He was part of the Thieves Guild. I think they would have more knowledge of the value of jewelry. And he's like, okay, well, give me like an intelligence check. And then I was like, I argued the thievery thing. And he's like, okay, with advantage. Like, so it's kind of cool. You can like, it's like there is like a debate, a back and forth between you and the GM, depending on your GM and how good they are. But it was entertaining, and our GM was not. He stuck to the rules in a way that, like, if we did something stupid and died, we were dead. He did not bring us back. He didn't like retcon it. Like, you were just done and it was over. So it felt like valuable in that way. That's something I like about the Dark Souls games, because they give like the players dignity. Because like the game just expects you to figure it out. It's not like hand holding you from point A to point B, giving you a mini map that shows you the order of which you have to take these linear actions. It just puts you in a world and expects you, it knows you're capable to figure it out, basically. And that's kind of what I like about like different GMing and stuff like that, is that, you know, there's the dignity of like, this is difficult and this is hard, but like, you know, we're capable of doing it if we put our mind to it, sort of thing. So yeah, I played a game called Knave, which is kind of like a one-shot D&D style game. Okay, I've never heard of Knave, but that does sound interesting. I'll have to look that up later. Actually, I can look it up right now. Why not? We're here. Knave. I have played Fiasco too, which is like a acting game thing, kind of like that. One shot is a second edition. Oh, second edition. Here, I'll read it here. Knave. Exploration world building toolkit inspired by best elements. Okay, this is like also old school D&D. Roll and combine results of D&D. Okay, gotcha. So it's like a randomizing. Okay, neat. Yeah, it seems very similar to. I mean, Shadowdark I think is meant to be played like over more games, but it was enjoyable. I really did. I liked Shadowdark quite a bit. Definitely going to be getting a copy at some point. That's a great idea. Rather than hoarding your potions till the end of the game, they aren't needed. Yes, yes. Yeah, rather than hoarding your, like, one luck token. Because, you know, you never know what you're going to get rewarded for, so you can just keep using it. And I also didn't feel like the limitation of, like, how many times you could use an ability per day was, like, as bad. Like, I've played certain games where you only get, like, one use of a spell per day, and that sucks. I hate that. Because you're, like, in a fight and you want to, like, sling spells. So it had a different system for spellcasting. I'm not too familiar with it because I was playing like a warrior type character. So, but it was pretty good. Honestly, the only difficulty I didn't like about it was that I didn't like the HP rolling, because your health was like a 1d. Well, it depends on your class. First off, each class is a different health die, so you could get like a 1d6 or like a 1d8 or something. But I didn't like how the hit points were rolled, because it would also, if you rolled low constitution, then you would get a negative to your hit point roll. And so like I just ended up getting like negative constitution and low rolls. So I didn't like that much. I'd probably, if I was GMing it, I'd probably make it so that the players have like at least like a bonus to like rolling the health pool or something. I'm not quite sure. I don't know how I would do it, but I don't, getting stuck with one life in that game is like terrible. It's like everything hits you and you're basically dead. There is no weapon that isn't like at least 1d4 of damage, assuming they can hit your armor class, and you're not given, it's impossible for you to get enough money to buy something like big unless you pool together with other players, I guess. It is weird, but interesting. Interesting game. I think I would do the health slightly differently. I don't know if I would do a flat rate because I like the random element to it, but maybe I would do a flat rate and then an additional like D4 or something like that, and then that's what takes the negative constitution roll. That's probably how I would do it. Because getting into a game with 1 HP, it's terrible. I guess it forces you to play differently, so it's not like the worst thing, but. And I guess, I don't know. It depends on how you value combat in a game. Like, do you want your players to attack more? I don't know. The interesting thing in Shadowdark is experience wasn't given based on completing quests or killing monsters. It was based on the treasure you recover. So theoretically, like, it isn't a murder hobo game in the sense of there's not a system within the game that values you even killing or dealing with conflict, because the value is just trying to get treasures, and that's how you gain experience, which is interesting. Also, the entire game is dark, so you have to always have torches lit, and your torches last 1 hour of real time, so you like set an alarm. Like basically you're keeping a counter. So if you the torch could last forever if you guys are quick. But if you're too busy yapping and dialoguing the entire time, the torch burns out. It's kind of a neat mechanic. It didn't really come up too much in our playthrough, but it is an interesting mechanic. Which is why it's called Shadow Dark, you know, too dark. Dark squared, basically. So. Yeah, when we played Knave, each of us had 3 characters, so like a 15-player characters in the world. Yeah, that makes sense, because it's probably like a funnel thing similar to DCC, Dungeon Crawl Classics. I like that gameplay, though. It's fun. It gives you more actions as a player, and the guys are generally simple at that point, so like there's not a ton of complexity in the sense of, you know, there's a bunch of things to remember for each character, like their racial ability, their spells, their whatever. So that is rough. It is rough. The dark thing can be rough. All right, what are we doing here? Where am I? Okay. All right, so not bad. Oh, but that's right. I'm stopping the V speed every time. That's why it's so weird. Okay, let's do. So this should only do if strangle is false, then it'll do it. I also went to the, my girlfriend and I went to Ohio to go see, to do like a wine and charcuterie board thing with the author of The Princess Diaries, Meg Cabot. There was like 40 people there. That was cool. And then afterwards, she went to a high school and did like a PowerPoint presentation talk. And those were both pretty good. Pretty entertaining. I actually really enjoyed them. So I just wish it was longer, to be honest. That was my only qualm about it. But she's the author of The Princess Diaries, the Mediator series, and 80-something books total. So it was cool to listen to her talk about the creative process as well as for her to talk about other stuff. It was really funny because when we were in the wine shop, I was like one of 2 guys there. And she's like, this is a record for the amount of men attending this event. And I was like, well, I've also read the Princess Diaries books. So, and she's like, yeah, I think more men should read the Princess Diaries book. They can get in the mind of a teenage girl or something like that. And I was like, well, a teenage girl from the 2000s, because that's very specifically different than a teenage girl from even now. I mean, a lot of these books have like a pre-phone era type of thing, and I think that makes them unique in the thoughts that people have, because I do think technology plays a much more significant role in some of these people's lives. And I've seen a lot of books that would be completely different if the characters had access to phone technology, or the author remembered that phones do in fact exist, and that there's a lot easier of a way to solve this particular problem than the one that they are writing in their book, you know? Okay, so now we want to do the hands. I wish to do the hands. Does that need to be an object? I think it does. Well, it doesn't need to be an object. It doesn't need to be an object. It could just be drawn on. No, it has to be an object because I got to apply a shader to it. Okay, it's got to be an object. Okay. Yeah. That is what we must do. Player cloud hands. Does it have to be an object? I feel like it's got to be an object because it's got to be on a higher layer than the cloud. Yeah, it's easier if it's an object. It's not easier, but it's going to be slightly easier if it's an object. If player, so we're going to do x equals, it's just going to equal the player x, right? I think so. I think that's it. Oh, then we got to do a shader, right? So the player shader is what exactly? Draw shader. Oh my lord. Okay. So we're going to take these things, whatever they are. Okay, we need those. Alright, so draw shader garbo. And then we need this stuff for the shader in the create event. Okay, I think if I just copy paste all that, it'll work. Famous last words. That's what I'm thinking. Because I made it so the player can change their colors, and so if I do anything that's outside of the player, then these things also need to keep parity. Is that the right word I'm thinking? Parity. The state or condition of being equal. Status or pay, yes. So the arms that are a separate external object from the player need to have the same parity for the shader in order to ensure that. Yeah. Okay, that should work. I'm gonna leave that for now. So then the cloud, when it's summoned, will create the hands, and then so where's the cloud at? First we need to make sure it's on the right layer. It's on the bullets layer. We don't want that. So it's going to be on the enemies layer, which is still above the player. Then we're going to create the stuff on the bullets layer. So this is going to be the entering to strangle. And maybe we should make hands its own thing. Hands equals instance create layer. Why? Well, I guess we can do, since it's going to be where the player is. Okay, and then it's going to be, player cloud hands, and that should be good. And then we need to make a hands equal to no one, because we're going to store the hands into a variable. Okay, let's see what this looks like. See where we are at. The hands are there. Okay, so now to test it, let's change color and then test the shader. Actually, we can go to the fun mall. Oh, I missed the color one. It's right here. Let's do something. Is there like a weird one? I suppose that'll work for now. Okay, we leave that. And then we make sure the hands also have no more red. Okay, they are red. Why are they red? Maybe because they need to take the players. Yeah, because the player has its own. Okay, I got you. I got you. Yes. If instance exists, player That makes sense, right? So now you're going to take the player's V normal, and I think that'll determine the number we're actually on. To remain, color parity. It is a small and potentially insignificant thing to worry about, but what is game design if not a little bit of love and a bunch of benign little things interworking? So we have our ideas. Okay, nice. Parity achieved. Good job. We have the strangle. I mean, we could do the strangle timer to death. Well, we might as well do that now. I don't know if I like the strangle, but as long as it works, I want to get it prototyped and functional before I really worry about the rest of it. And then we make it fun. That's the next step. So let's see here. We're going to do... What are we doing? We are doing... The cloud strangles, it prevents... Oh, we're going to do the strangle timer. Strangle time equals 0. So if strangling equals true, so we'll do if strangle equals true. Strangle time. Add. All right, random question. How long does it take for somebody to be strangled out? Okay, but I get it. How long do people last, though? How long does it take people to... Can I get this answer anywhere? Oh, 5 to 10 seconds. To lose consciousness. So let's do the long side. Let's do 10 seconds, because it's a cloud strangling you. He's a cloud. So we'll do... Does 10 seem too long? Yeah. So we'll do if strangle time is greater than equal to 30 times, what is our second limit? We could do 6. Let's see what 6 seconds looks like. Let's see how it feels. Then SCR player killed. And then why don't we make a gloating cloud? Duplicate cloud smug. So you can get rid of the player here, get rid of the hands, and we're going to edit. Well, we can edit from here. So let's do a smug. Oh, work on the face now. What would that look like? These are its eyes. Maybe a... kind of smuggy. Got like a shit-eating grin. That's what I need. Oh yeah, that's a shit-eating grin if I've ever seen one. Look at that. Maybe taper that off. Should I do it to the right? Yeah. Let me show some. It's not wide enough to do that. I kind of like that. Can even do the eyebrows raise. He's like having a good time. Is that smug though? What if I do his arms too? You know how like people put their arms on like their hips or whatever? Like they've done a great job or something. I want to do something like that. He's having a good chortle at your expense, as all enemies in my game do. I don't know how I want to do that. Okay, well, let's look at the... Let's do... I mean, we'll just tell you what. We'll draw it out, and then... Maybe he moves his hands inwards, like he's holding his stomach from all the belting of laughter. That could be it. That could be a vibe. Let's see how that looks. You done with Johnny? Yes, I have finished with Johnny. Hello, River. How are you doing? How's your day going? Yes, I'm done with the Johnny series. I still have my Johnny fan game thing that I will probably finish and sell for like $1 at some point. It's not really... It's inspired by, I guess, more so. But yes, I'm done with Johnny for now. So if you didn't like Johnny, then you can finally breathe. And if you did like Johnny, well, I'm going to be doing the fan game, so. Does it kind of look like he's chortling? Maybe I should do it slower. It looks like it. Maybe I raise his eyes, too. I finally finished Silk Song. Dude, that's awesome. How long did it take? I actually haven't played Hollow Knight, so I you know, I know it's like a good Metroidvania game. But, I personally have not played it myself. I know that the people have liked it, from what I've seen. That looks pretty good. Smug. Okay, let's make him smug. So once the player is killed, then if... Right, well, first we should do... and obj player dot that equals false, and then we can set our sprite index. Smug. Okay. 20 hours. Dang, I got quite a bit of worth out of that. I don't even know how much it is on Steam. Like I said, I've never played Hollow Knight before. I should probably get it at some point. Oh, it's like 20 bucks. There you go. You got $1 per hour. Nice. Oh, is it a separate game? I thought it was like a DLC. Oh, it is a separate game. Okay. Didn't even look. Didn't even look. Oh, it looks cool. I played Castlevania Symphony of Night back in the day, and I really like that. That's like the most Metroidvania-ish game I've ever dealt with. So 6 seconds, I should die, and he'll get smug. Oh, the hand's got to be destroyed too. Where's this black dot here? Did I make that? Is that in the hands? Strangle? Smug? What is that? Where is that pixel coming from? Is that just from the blood particle? Let's see if it's still there. What in the heck? There's nothing over here. I can delete the picture box too. Alright, well, what if we destroy the hands? Oh, is it? It's gotta be something here, right? Just delete that. Let's see if there's anything up here. So then we're gonna do the hand destruction. So then we're gonna do if instance exists p hands, then with player hands instance destroy. Okay, let's try that. It was affecting my job performance, lol. It lasted way longer than I expected. Your job performance? That's actually really funny. I guess that's good. You enjoyed the game so much that it affected your job performance. I did not expect... I mean, hey, if it takes 20 hours, you get your value out of the game, right? That can't be much of a complaint. It's good that it had some playtime. And if you're looking for more games that you want to try out, you can try out this weird niche series called the Johnny series. 36 games, got 50 hours out of it. It's free. So, pure value. Pure value. Okay. Okay, brother. Wait, my hands, these hands, my dude. Okay, strangled equals false. Strangled equals true. The hands aren't being destroyed. Is it because... Why aren't the hands being destroyed? I'm not setting strangled to false. If I'm a player, dead equals false. Kill the player, set the cloud to smug. The hands still persist longer than they should. I mean, I guess the cloud doesn't have to do it, right? We could do... Is player dead a thing, actually? I didn't even think about that. Dead is a thing. If dead equals false... Is it? It is P hands. With hands, destroy. Why doth you not destroy? Strangle is true here. Am I within the player? No. Within hands. P hands exists within the context of the cloud. Well, I could do it within the context of the hands and see if that works. So we'll do if player.dead equals true. And then we do instance destroy. Doesn't have to be within this cloud context here. Let's see what that does. I had to double down on my energy drink consumption. That's actually really funny. The only way to get better at work is to just drink more energy, which is also ironic in and of itself. I feel that now that I'm on coffee right now, it's like I want to have like more coffee because I want like, you know, to feel more perked up at different times. But I know that it's just a self-defeating cycle. I was off coffee for a couple of years, and now that I'm on it again, I'm like, okay, yeah, I see this is not going to help. If I want more energy, I got to quit coffee. It's the only way to get more energy. Okay, brother, this works great, but what is that? And why is it there? I have one random pixel there. What in the... It's got to be the smug sprite, right? There's something about it. It's like right here. Get that thing out of here. Oh, is it because the... No? We're just gonna erase in this area. Make sure this pixel doesn't exist. Okay, and then for the cloud, we'll do the same thing. Might be like a Game Maker bug, I don't know. Okay. Let's see what that looks like. Oh, and then we can move the jagged knife we made over to this sprite. The player can grab it. Okay, actually the cloud ideas, the first one should be a default nothing idea. Okay, and then everyone after that can be thingamajiggers. Okay. Well, let's see if that random black pixel still exists. If it does, it must be something else, like the player. Maybe it is the player. What are you? It's about to be this cloud's beauty mark pretty soon here. I also kind of want the strangle to like move the arms in more. Yeah, they move them down, but it doesn't move them in. And I'm kind of feeling an in movement now that I'm looking at this. Yeah, okay. Oh, is it because it's drawing? No, it couldn't be. What are we drawing here? Phase equals 1. Couldn't be that. Okay, it's his beauty mark then. I'm not going to deal with it. It'll, I don't know what this is. I have no, actually, what if I do, great idea, just to check, what if I do image alpha equals 0 and see if we can't see anything else appear. Energy drinks are the pillar of 21st century capitalism. I would say that caffeine, yes, is the pillar of capitalism. And also, like, it's kind of funny to think about it because I've heard that people with ADHD like feel calmer with caffeine, and I do feel calmer when I have caffeine. I've never been tested for ADHD, so I don't know if I have it. But people like self-medicate with nicotine or stimulants or other things like that, or like amphetamines, which is what Adderall is, I believe, in order to manage it. So the idea of, like, you know, people needing oh, it's the, oh my god, I'm stupid. Okay, it's that. I got it now. I didn't realize it was that. Okay. Okay, that's really funny. That's hilarious. I've been trying to figure out what that stupid thing is for so much time. Okay, wait, before I finish that thought, what do we want to do here? Because is that where the player is? Is that why? Or I feel like the death thing should be lower. Why is it higher? I guess because the death mark, is it always been... Wait. Before I finish my thought on caffeine and... oh, isn't it like Monster something? Where is my death symbol? Oh god, I have too many sprites. We're never going to find it, guys. It wouldn't be in the player. That would be... Oh, enemy spawner. Oh, it is in the middle. So then what's happening here? My player X is... Oh, I guess it's where the cloud is, right? So that makes sense. Okay, so then what we're going to do is we're going to do... Hold on. I promise I'll finish my caffeine thought in a second. So we got to do... So it's taking a lot of work to maintain this focus, I will say. Everything is pulling me in different directions. Okay. I can feel the coffee wear off in real time. Which I think the quarter life of coffee is like, what, 8 to 12 hours? Which is when it's binding to the adenosine receptors in your brain would reach the quarter amount of how much there is. Right? I think that's what it is. I don't know. I gotta look at my science again. Okay, so what are we doing here? If strangles false. I guess we should do if obg player dot dead equals false. Right? Does that change anything? And then we need to move the player down by 23 pixels. Right? I think so. Like, let's see if that works. Okay, so coffee no longer cuts it anymore. I would drink coffee if I only did 2 people's job. Oh no, so how many people's jobs are you doing right now? And what is your job again? I don't know if you've mentioned it before. I don't remember it off the top of my head. I usually do try to ask, but I don't remember. All the time. So yeah, I think I do think coffee is probably played a significant role in the Industrial Revolution for a bunch of people managing their ADHD and focusing on stuff to get it done. It does seem like a necessary evil in some respects to modern life. Okay, so wait, this works. So let's do no image alpha 0. Let's see what that looks like. 4 jobs, I think. You're doing 4 people's jobs? Bro, I hope you're getting paid for 4 people's jobs, though I doubt it. I doubt in this day and age you're actually getting paid for 4 people's jobs. They'll give you more work, but they won't pay you the fair wage. That is my guess. Well, that's an easy math equation, right? Because you would drink coffee if you only did 2 people's job. Well, you just have to drink double the coffee because you're doing 4 people's job. Which would probably be an actual crap ton of coffee. Okay, great. What are we having trouble with here then? So, I think it's because, this is moving down after he's dead, and it looks weird. Because the blood and everything spawns. So why don't we move the player down and then they die? I think, is that my problem? I think that's my problem. And then... Oh, his tongue isn't showing. That's also true. So we gotta add the tongue. Which I don't have a player tongue, I don't think, in anything. So let's add the tongue color. So wait, we gotta go... This is gonna be annoying, but we'll see if it works. So, player strangle. I like this tongue color. What do we have here? Grab that. And then let's see. Wait, what is the red? It is 204. enemy palette. And then 204, is that occupied right now? It is not. This, whoop. 204 will be my tongue. This is like a weird shader thing. Don't ask about it. I don't understand how it works. I know how to edit it. That's it. I don't know anything about shaders. It takes like the color based on the red value and then like adds it, and if it doesn't exist, it doesn't draw it. I don't fucking know. Whatever. I guess I should fill that with like white or something so it would show up. That's a smart idea. Why didn't I think of doing that? So that thing actually shows up. Oh, maybe I'll do it like a harsh purple. Or what is a... It should be bright, actually. There we go. So that way, if any of these aren't occupied, it'll show up as this kind of like oppressive purple color. Maybe we should do a present pink color. Error. Maybe it should just be red, right? Because it's an error. I don't know. I'm thinking like Gary's mod. They do like a purple checkerboard thing. Whatever. This ugly pink will let me know. I'm sure I'll figure it out. Future Cody will be thankful that I took the time to do that. Oh, that's right. You're the videographer. Yes, I do remember that. Photographer, video editor, graphic designer, media manager, driver. I work for a news station, and I don't get paid enough. Yes, I do remember you mentioning that. News station work. Well, I guess the only advantage to that is if you're doing everybody's jobs, then at some point you can make a competing news station with all your skills, right? Or just run like a YouTube show. I don't know if that pays well. Might be better than doing what you're doing, but at least you got the skills. That's awesome. What is happening? Why is it? Oh, it's because 0 is right. Because this is 0, right? So nothing. Okay, so then just the sliver has to be. I'm doing some weird stuff today. We are absolutely cooking with this. I don't know what this is, but it is smelling good. Speaking of which, I gotta make my liver and onions today. I gotta do that soon. Okay. Let's see if that fixes it. Might as well, honestly. Yeah, you might as well. Make your own show. I'm sure you could do anything. You have every skill required. There's no limit. If you already know how to operate everything. I think you just have to find the stories at that point. Okay, so there we go. Okay, yeah, so it was 0. So now that that's fixed, let's see if the tongue works. Nice. Cool. It works. And that is that. I probably can do some... Yeah, we got stuff to do. I have options. I got ideas. I got options. I'm probably going to make it so the player can, like, move slightly. I don't know. I'll think about it. This is a cool level. I like this so far. Sweet. Nice. Okay. There's like a weird shifting of player position before he technically dies because the death happens in like the end step. I guess I could place this in the end step. Maybe let's try that. Let's see what that looks like. Close this. Maybe strangling needs to happen in the end step. So this resolve strangle. Let's see if that works. So we don't get that like slightly glitchy player shifting thing. It's only like one frame you see it. It's not gonna end the world if I end up getting stuck with it, but oh, sorry. I gotta remove that from here. So this is just bouncing for this, and then this is going to be strangle, and then we'll do the strangle resolution in the end step, because everything's already moved in the end step, so I think that'll be better. I'm not sure, though. It may just do nothing, which is also possible. So we jump off the bridge, and then we get strangled by our cloud of potential. No, it still happens. Okay, so we gotta do something different. I don't know how I'm gonna fix that yet. Oh. What in the Lord happened? Did it redo? Okay, that's a terrible function. Why would I ever want that? I was trying to Control Z here. Oh, it doesn't even have the Control Z anymore. That's annoying, bro. What a stupid function. Okay. So if I'm in this menu, I can undo what I did in the events window. But then if I undo the events, they don't redo with their history. That is so stupid, dude. Why would I ever want that? Game Maker devs, what the F? That has got to be the dumbest thing I've ever seen. Yeah, so like if I add events in here, right, and I click on this window, I can Control Z and undo them. But all of the stuff that I Control Z'd or any history of stuff in here isn't retained when it regenerates. So that is so stupid. I would probably just not make it possible to Control Z any of this. Why would you ever need to? You could just delete it, right? I mean, it's... And then you could save all this here if you force them to delete that. That makes more sense to me. That's how I'd do it if I was making this. Alright, let's make sure this works still. I wish we had ethics on journalism here. LOL. I think 40% of all private prosecution here is on journalists. Really? Private prosecution on journalists? Well, I don't think ethics in journalism would help people, prevent people from breaking laws, but I do agree with you. But then again, ethical journalism doesn't get clicks, right? So it's a give and take. We're in an attention-based economy, so the market of attention. The more attention you get, the better. The more clicks, the more wealth, the more fame, the more infamy. So I kind of get that. All right, there's like a weird glitch thing where he like phases out for a moment, but wait, why does he turn red though? That's a good question. Why is he flickering red for a moment? His shader should activate. Oh, I guess it's because... How confusing. I guess what would make it so... We'll reset those variables? Does that make sense? What is resetting the variables? Why is he even getting a run? Shouldn't this be... Does player killed reset that? No. Got some interesting background stuff happening here. I'm not quite sure what's causing it, but It isn't game breaking, so it's not totally necessary. It's more just like a polish thing. So I'm gonna leave it, but I would like to at least understand what's happening, even if I don't fix it. Because the shader should not be turning off to... Yeah, like what is happening there? He changes Y value, which makes sense why there's that jerk, but then Y is... let's go to the player. What does the shader turn off for? Armored Young Immune shader on, buff injured, shader draw. Oh, looks good. Else draw cell. Armored Old Young dead. Dead. So he dies. Why does he live for a frame, though, when he dies? That doesn't make sense. He should be dead. Oh, because no animation's allowed forces the animation to be... Oh, I see what's happening. But it's ending before this. Oh, but then there's a frame or two. How do I do this? So... Thinking about this, so because we're overriding the player's animations within the cloud, and then it's getting set to dead, what is the solution? Player dead equals false. So the jerking is fine, but I want... Is it fine? Let's run it back. This is my pedantic perfectionism, but why does he live for a frame? He dies in the right position, but he dead equals false at dead. Unorthodox solution. Oh, it's because the cloud is playing after the player. Oh my god. All right, wait. Oh man. All right, what if we set player dot sprite index in here equal to SPR. What is this called? Enemy spawner. I really should have renamed that like 6 years ago when I made it. Oh, what a terrible name for that. All right, let's see if that works. Because then technically it's going to be... is that going to work? Why doesn't it set the dead spray here? That doesn't make sense. Where even is the dead spray set? Is it set somewhere in the player? I'm losing my mind, guys. 6 years ago, Cody did not plan this very well. Okay, dead. Please tell me it's like something stupid like after this. Oh, there we go. If no skull equals true, what the hell is no skull? Oh, it's just empty. Okay. Enemy spawner. Okay, that's weird. The heck was I thinking, dog? I wasn't. That's what the problem is, actually. All right, let's see if this works. Okay, gotta go. Oh, sorry. Have a good day. Suing doesn't go anywhere, but most just don't want to waste time and money. Gotcha, gotcha. Hey, man, have a good day. Don't work too hard. I know you're working like 5 people's jobs, but 6, 4. Good luck. Nice seeing you. Have a great day. Sorry if I missed that a while ago. I was in the throes of passion of programming. There we go. Look at that. Okay, it kind of fixes it. Kind of fixes it. A little bit better. Nice. Nice. Okay, cool. I'm pretty happy with this so far. I think we're good. I'm going to go cook liver and onions now. We're here. Nice. Okay, and then we have to do how to beat the level tomorrow or later today, off stream if I feel like it. Oh, I should change the cloud too. Fuck. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna do that first before I go. One last thing. We're gonna do the strangle because the cloud is supposed to change. It's supposed to change shape and size and whatever. So let's do. I don't want to do this. Well, I guess we're getting tighter, right? So let's tighten them up. Tighten them up a little bit and get some different edges on them. Wait, we should hide the face for a minute. There we go. I can actually see what I'm doing. Just a guy can see what he's doing. Okay, let's do random. There we go. Okay, then let's. Nice. Doesn't gotta be perfect. Just gotta be something. Okay, now we had the face back. Whoop. Okay, I need this bigger. And this doesn't change. This is too consistent. That is too much of a big vacillation. Too much of a difference? Maybe that's the word I was thinking. Says it doesn't have to be perfect. Is perfecting it. Silly me. Falling into my own silliness. Okay. Let's just stop while we're ahead. I kind of like that. Yeah, that's good. All right, let's final witness. Final test. Okay. Nice. He can change there too, cloud-wise. But we can do that tomorrow. Looks fine for now. Okay, sweet. That's all she wrote. Thank you guys for coming out. Thank you guys for chatting. Hope you have a beautiful day. Wherever you are, whoever you are. And that's it for me. I think I'll be back tomorrow. We'll see. We'll see how I'm feeling. Good luck. Take care. Have a good day.